Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Super Jesus Jackson channel. We're back at it again with yet another video, this time 300. That's right, the Zack Snyder directed movie from 2006, I think that's when it came out. I think it's his most well-regarded movie besides Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is funny. And I guess Watchmen, although, yeah, Watchmen has gotten a lot of retrospective reviews of praise, I would say. But I think when they came out, 300 and Zack Snyder's Justice League for sure. But 300 is obviously based on the graphic novel by Frank Miller, and it is one of the most, it's one of the best films ever, I would say. Not only because the story is great, but obviously, of course, the special effects and the action and stuff like that. But even more so, I think the film's themes are incredible. Obviously, a lot of that is due to the story that it comes from, of course, that Frank Miller's graphic novel is based from. So, you know, it is an adaptation. However, I think the way that and much of the movie is a direct sort of mirror to the graphic novel, so there is that. But I think Zack Snyder's vision, you know, in crafting this movie, every single shot from it is I think him. You know, it is not only just an adaptation, but I think it is an expression of Zack Snyder's identity as a filmmaker. But the themes of 300 are really where it's at. And this scene right here is my favorite scene in the entire movie. You know, it doesn't encapsulate, I think, the most important theme of the movie, but I think it's the most important scene for Leonidas, who's the main character, Gerard Butler's character. It's the most important scene for him, and it is quite a stark contrast to what we expect from a character like him. Obviously, you know, the 300, the story of it is, it's highly exaggerated, highly fantastical. It is not a direct, you know, historical take of the Battle of Thermopylae in Greek history, but I think that's why it shines so well, is because it takes a lot of liberty. And Leonidas' character here does something, like, again, as I mentioned, that's kind of a stark contrast to what you would expect a Spartan to do. And I think that's why it's incredibly powerful. So we're going to watch it. This is the best scene for me, although there's another scene that follows this one that I think encapsulates everything that 300 is supposed to be and what makes it such a powerful story. But we're going to do this one here. This is the death of Leonidas. And sorry for the terrible quality. I could not find an HD version of this scene. Literally every other scene but this one. So I'm sorry about that. But, you know, whatever. I mean, if anything, it's a nice time portal to back in the day when YouTube was not great quality. And we just kind of didn't know at the time because, you know, we didn't know what good quality was, so we accepted it as it was. But here we go.
Uh-oh. My king.
Michael Fassbender, man.
It's an honor to die at your side. It's an honor to have lived at yours.
Bars. Just absolute bars.
My queen! My wife. My love.
Oh my god. So epic, dude. Are you kidding me, dude? So goddamn epic, man. Okay, there's just multiple things here to address, right? The character of Leonidas, and in fact the characters of Spartans, at least the way that this movie has depicted, because historically Spartans actually have much more complexity than what this movie portrays them to be. And that's not an insult. It just is what it is. But and it's complexity and not in the way that you would think. But in this movie, portrays Spartans as like the peak of alpha male masculinity. You know what I mean? It's just like, these are warriors. They're hardened. They have no emotion. Like, he has a wife and everything. But here's the thing, even in the movie, when he leaves to fight with the 300 Spartans, he literally doesn't even say "I love you." Like she gives him like a pendant or something, I believe, and like he just looks at her, and then she just like says, I think she might have said travel well, or "I love you." She might have said something like that, but he did not tell her "I love you" or anything like that, like, because it was sort of the story of the Spartans, and sort of their ethos and their culture was like, don't show weakness. You know what I mean? Like, don't say "I love you." That's weak. And also it was kind of a detriment to the soldier's mentality, because if you have something like that in your head, it could make you weak, in battle when you need it the most. Ironically, though, it's funny enough, and the movie touches on it a little bit with, sort of this, very focused relationship that these soldiers have. So if anything, they show love amongst each other in battle as much as they can, I guess. As you saw towards the end there. But I guess outside of that, they're not showing love, to the degree that they should, And Leonidas here, his wife is like, that's his wife, and even then, we don't hear him say "I love you," I think, to her. Now, he does make love to her and shit like that, and we know that he loves her, and we know that she knows that he loves her, but, it's not super overt, But then, and don't get me wrong, I mean, he's still a very caring person, you could tell. He protects her, and she stands up for him in ways that, like, are incredibly courageous, and she's fighting her own battle back in Sparta as well, and she fights it for him. So they're very equal in that way, right? Just different. They do different things, but they're equal. However, towards the very end here, this is what I'm saying, is that it's a contradiction in a way, because as he's about to die, which, that's what we all do, right? When we're on the brink of death is when everything that we truly want to say and everything that we truly feel comes out, right? Because it's easy to go about life not, showing who you really are, suppressing, what you really think, when you don't have the sense of urgency of death, and here we see he's about to die, and so he decides to just, scream it out to the heavens. "My queen." He says "my queen" first. Then he says "my wife." And then he finally ends it. There's a little bit of a space. And then right as those arrows, come to him, he says, "my love." And the music combined with the way that he looks, just incredible, man.
My wife.
Oh,
My queen.
God, you hear that? That scream?
My queen.
He's just... It doesn't matter. He loves his army and everything, but at the end of the day,
My wife.
and his acting, his breathing, his hyperventilating, his grit, his breath as he says it, and the music and his look, his eyes, this is terrible quality, and I'm being moved by this. That's how powerful the scene is.
My wife.
Just looking out into the abyss, or not the abyss, but just the sunset, the sky.
My queen.
Oh, God. It's amazing. It's just amazing. It almost, makes me shed a tear here. Brilliant. Oh, and then just like the arrows cover the sun. Oh, it's brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely incredible. But see, that's the thing. That's the beauty of it, is that, and that's what I love. I love complex, sophisticated, characters and storytelling. And this whole movie, and a lot of people at the time when this movie came out, it was kind of controversial because it was kind of like, oh, it's so alpha masculine, and it's like, and then, obviously nowadays, fast forward to now, people, I think in a lot of ways, masculinity is viewed as toxic, in certain sects of society. And it's not as like, just, I guess, what's the word? It's not viewed in the same ways that it used to be viewed, or respected, I think, even to a certain degree, as it used to be, as much, right? I mean, it's things are changing, but at the time, and there are some, things here and there in 300 where, I guess, are problematic or whatever, but that's what it was. However, when it comes to the critique of alpha male, or like, toxicity and the alpha maleness and the nature of the movie, you have a complex character here. And not to mention that the female in the movie, his queen, is his equal, in the movie. We see that, in the movie. But put that aside, the character of Leonidas here, he has complexity. You know what I mean? Like, he is the leader of this, of the world's most, or one of the world's most powerful armies at the time, and he has another side of himself. Once he is about to die, he just, and it's almost tragic at the same time too, as it is courageous, as it is beautiful, because he decides in that moment to just fully, it's that thing where it's tragic because, he probably would have loved to say that, to his wife, not in this moment, but every other day, that he didn't get to, this is the moment that he regrets, not saying I love you before he left to battle with the Spartans. The last time he saw her, he didn't tell her that, and so it's tragic in that sense. And it really is the tragedy of the male, because the male is very repressed. The male doesn't express his emotions as much as females do at times, right? And so it's a great tale of tragedy, but it's also a great tale of heroism. Of course, come on, like, the stand that the Spartans took, against the Persians, was a symbol. It became legend. It became something that inspired millions and millions of people centuries and centuries, later. So it stood the test of time. So even though they lost the battle, they won the long-term metaphorical war, symbolic war, And so what they've done has outlived them, And so it's very heroic. Their sacrifice their stand is heroic. So there's that, and in amongst all that, there's this emotion and the cry for love that Leonidas has. So in all this badassery and all this heroism, there is this sensitivity as well, with Leonidas screaming out to the heavens, "My wife, my queen," and it's also tragic because he didn't get to do that, before he went to this war, to this battle. And so it really hits in the feels. And I love that sort of that triple layered, my queen, my wife, and then my love. Just sort of that, the triple layered nature of that is just brilliant. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like when people have in their, like in their bios or something, their Instagram bio, like it'll say like, they put a list of the things that are most important to them. It'll be like, God, family, country, and I'm not trying to make any, that's literally just the first example that came to my head. But like, it's like, okay, the most important thing, God, the second most important thing, family, and the third most important thing is country, right? It's like that sort of thing, right? And the same thing, sort of device is used here with my queen, sort of the status of his wife of his love, the status of in society, is my queen, and then it's my wife. It's the secondary status. So it's not only is the queen is important to everyone, to society, and then my wife is important to me, but also a little bit to society. So it starts. It's like you're peeling the onion. You're getting to the core of it, and then it finally goes to my love. And that's the most personal title, that he can give her. And it's just all these, it's like this trifecta, you know what I mean? It's like, and trifectas are very powerful, you know what I mean? Like the Holy Spirit, the Son, the Father, that sort of thing, right? We all have these titles, and it's almost like you're peeling the onion, which is, and getting to the core of it, which is pretty brilliant. But, yeah, those are my thoughts, and that's why this scene is incredible. That's why it's my favorite scene, and incredibly nuanced film. Just phenomenal. Fantastic. But those are my thoughts on this scene from 300. I want to know what you have to say, what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you like this scene? Do you like this movie? Let me know in the comment section. Do you disagree with me? Do you have a different take? I'd love to hear it. Give this video a like if you like, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, you want to see more stuff like this. Let me know in the comment section below what other movie scenes you would like me to react to next. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. But I think that's it for me. You all take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you.